His story really does sound like a classic case of overnight success. One day, Vanilla Ice was a regular local nightclub performer, and the next, he had a #1 album, an army of devoted fans, and could buy anything he wanted with his newfound wealth. He also had a lot of critics accusing him of everything from lying about his background to ripping off a genre of music that didn't belong to people who looked like him. The hate got so bad that it even drove him to wanting to end it all. Then, after the lights dimmed on his career, he was forced to create a new life and figure out who he was without the fame. Robert Matthew Van Winkle, later professionally known as Vanilla Ice, was born in Dallas, Texas, on October 31st, 1967. He grew up never knowing his biological father and doesn't even share his name. Ice's surname comes from the man that his mother was married to at the time of his birth. When he was 4, his mother divorced. Afterward, he grew up moving between Dallas and Miami due to his stepfather's job. His mother would go on to marry a total of 4 times and give Ice several half-siblings, all of whom had a different father. As a self-proclaimed wild child, Ice had very little supervision and discipline at home. In his early teens, he developed an interest in breakdancing, which led to his friends nicknaming him Vanilla, as he was the only white kid in the group. Even though he wasn't feeling it, it stuck. Eventually, Vanilla got put together with the name of his best dance move, the Ice. At school, Ice was a poor student, and by the time he reached 18, he'd only made it to the 10th grade. Not surprisingly, he then dropped out. One night, he visited a South Dallas club, where, at the insistence of his friend, he took to the stage to showcase his dancing and rapping skills. He won the crowd over and was asked by the establishment's manager if he wanted to perform regularly, which he accepted. As a performer there, Ice got the opportunity to open up for the likes of Rob Bass, 2 Live Crew, and MC Hammer, who Ice would go on to develop a great friendship with, contrary to the rumor mill. Eventually, the owner of the club, Tommy Kwan, offered Ice a contract with his management company. Tommy used some of his earnings from the club to buy studio time so Ice could start laying down some tracks, and over the course of the next couple of years, Ice focused on doing exactly that. Play That Funky Music was released as Ice's debut single along with another track on the B-side in 1989. It was sent out to various radio stations around the nation, but the single was seldom played, and when it was, it didn't get the reaction he was hoping for. That is, until a DJ in Columbus, Georgia decided to play what was on the B-side, a song called Ice Ice Baby. It quickly gained a major fan base and other radio stations followed suit. The song skyrocketed to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 as well as the rap songs chart. It also went to #1 in Canada and the UK.
If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Ice, ice, baby.
After Ice signed with SBK Records, the label remixed and re-recorded his debut album, initially put out by independent label Ichiban Records, under the new title To The Extreme, and released it in the fall of 1990. To The Extreme became the fastest-selling hip-hop album of all time, spending 16 weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200. Naturally, the label wanted Ice on the road as soon as possible to capitalize on his newfound popularity. MC Hammer, an old acquaintance from his club days, opened the door for Ice to join him as an opening act on his tour. It sounds like everybody's dream, but it was a nightmare. All of a sudden, I'm surrounded by strangers telling me what to do. I had stylists and publicists telling me where to go all day from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep. I had wardrobe people holding shit up and telling me, "You're going to wear this when you do this thing, and this when you're on this show." To make matters worse, every time he refused a proposal, someone would throw money at him. They'd say, "Look, the big new thing in rap is slow songs. LL Cool J has a slow song. We want you to write a slow song." I'd be like, "I'm not gonna write a slow song, are you kidding me?" And they'd be like, "Here's a check for $1 million. So I sat down and wrote a slow song. It was $1 million. I'd lick my mother's asshole for $1 million. Fun fact, in 1990, Ice began an 8-month relationship with Madonna, who is 9 years his senior. She popped up in his dressing room at Madison Square Garden to give him her phone number. They officially became a couple after he visited her in Indiana on the set of A League of Their Own, culminating in his appearance in her infamous coffee table picture book, Sex. Many years later, he'd claimed that she even proposed to him. Also that year, Queen and David Bowie took action to seek credit and royalties for samples from their 1981 hit, Under Pressure, used on Ice Ice Baby. According to Ice's manager, they were in such a rush to put the song out that they didn't bother to get permission to use the sample, and he admits that they knew they would eventually have to pay up. The matter was ultimately settled out of court. Despite that little hiccup, Ice was hot. Super hot.
This is V to the ANILLAICE right here in the place to be on MTV.
He had the #1 album in the nation, fat pockets, and the admiration of millions of fans. Those fans, though, wanted more. They wanted to know as much information as they could about their favorite superstar. But that proved to be a difficult task, since Ice wasn't interested in talking about his personal life. His record company, though, decided to give the people what they wanted and issued a bio on the rapper to reporters. It stated he was a gangbanger, grew up in the ghettos of Miami, attended a predominantly black high school, and that he was a national motocross champion. It was all lies. Ice claimed he had no knowledge of what his label was peddling around and only found out about it during interviews, where he was questioned why his answers weren't matching the information they had. His manager, Tommy Kwan, insisted that he got all the info directly from Ice. The untruths maybe wouldn't have been that big of a deal if people had let it go. A journalist for the Dallas Morning News newspaper, though, wasn't about to do that. He interviewed Ice twice. The first time, Ice laid out his life story nearly word for word what was said in the bio his label issued. However, it all fell apart during the second interview. 8 days after Ice's debut album reached the top of the charts, that reporter's column about Ice's fake life story ended up on the front page of the paper. Ice's credibility was now completely shot. He soldiered on and even had some choice words for certain people after picking up his award for favorite new pop rock artist at the 1991 American Music Awards.
And the people who try to hold me down and talk bad about me, kiss my white butt. Word to your mother.
Things got taken up another notch during his appearance on the Arsenio Hall show, where it was clear the talk show host had a bone to pick with the rapper.
Yep. Of course you said the word and everything.
Oh yeah, I said it.
Now you get a little time to expound on that.
Well, I just basically said it because, the people who said I never could make it, that I would never amount to SHI, the rest, and that never, said, white boy can't make it in rap music. I, kiss my white, the rest. Like, it's like, ha, right in your face,
So this is a white rapper being suppressed kind of revenge.
Something like that.
I know a lot of black rappers are probably angry because some of the white people screaming didn't buy rap until you did it, until they saw a vanilla face on the cover of an album. That probably makes them angry because
if it makes them angry, angry. It's not my fault. Mm-hmm. Did I have anything to do with that?
So
no.
They should dog the people.
What they're saying is they're showing their own jealousy, man. That's all it is. You saw Flavor Flav. Me and him, we're homies.
Is that why you brought him out, just to show you have a black supporter? And
no, I brought him out because he's a friend of mine. They don't like that, man.
That don't bother me. I'm not liked by a lot of people a lot of times.
Me
but
too.
I say what I want to say
so
because I'm an American.
Word.
I have that right.
A couple of weeks after that, Keenan Ivory Wayans, who interestingly enough introduced Ice's performance at the AMAs, featured a parody of him on his show in living color. The spoof, titled White White Baby, with actor Jim Carrey in the lead role, roasted Ice in a similar vein as popular diss tracks Who Shot Ya?, The Bridge Is Over, and Hit 'Em Up.
I'm living large and my bank is stupid because I just listen to real rap and stupid.
Record producer Suge Knight also had an issue with Ice, but it had nothing to do with the color of his skin or his rhyming. Everything came to a head one day when they had a face-to-face encounter. The truth about how it all went down continues to remain unclear to this day. The most notorious version was that Suge had hung Ice upside down by his ankles over a hotel balcony and threatened to drop him if he didn't give Suge money to start his label, Death Row Records. Another version, told by Ice during a 1996 sit-down interview he did with ABC's Primetime Live, went a little something like this. Suge came to Ice's West Hollywood hotel room to collect royalties on behalf of Mario Lavelle Johnson, a rapper from Dallas who claims he co-wrote Ice's #1 hit song, as well as several others off the album. That's interesting since Ice has always said that he wrote the track when he was 16. Ice said Suge did take him out to the 15th floor balcony, but instead of hanging him over it, just had him look over the edge to ensure that Ice was aware of just how high up they were. Ice then claimed that after Suge roughed up some people in Ice's entourage, Ice signed paperwork giving Mario and Suge a portion of the royalties of the song because he feared for his life. Several years later, though, in his Behind the Music episode, Ice was singing a different tune, claiming that there wasn't any bad blood between him and Suge. Suge maintains that Ice's 1996 version was a complete fabrication. Ice's own manager even said that long before the hotel incident, there had already been paperwork drawn up for Mario to get what was rightfully owed to him. While trying to milk his popularity for all it was worth, a Vanilla Ice doll, board game, and autobiography all made their way to retail shelves.
Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go ninja, go ninja, go. Go, 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 go.
He also tried his hand at acting, making his first movie appearance in the 1991 superhero film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze, and contributed the song Ninja Rap to the soundtrack. In the spring of 1991, Ice began to film the movie Cool as Ice, in which he played a leading role. That fall, it opened to mainly negative reviews.
Oh yeah, cat. Words of wisdom. Drop that zero and get with the hero.
While his fame in the US had severely dropped, Ice continued touring internationally throughout 1992. Before long, he'd all but completely faded from the public spotlight, some say simply due to overexposure. By 1994, Ice was back and released his second studio album titled Mind Blowin'. The reviews were bad, really bad. The project didn't even crack the album chart. His label was over him at this point and dropped him from their roster. During the making of the project, Ice confesses he wasn't in a good place, and drugs was the reason. He was using ecstasy, cocaine, and heroin. My drug of choice was always X, more than heroin and blow. I could just pop a pill and instantly feel better about all the shit in life. Of course, the problems didn't go away. The next morning, things were even worse than the day before. I wanted to completely disappear. I wouldn't go to the grocery store. I wouldn't go to the gas station. If I ordered pizza, I'd have somebody else answer the door just so nobody would ever see me. Rock bottom came when he tried to take his life with an overdose on the 4th of July, 1994. After seeking professional help to recover, Ice decided it was time to change his lifestyle. He then started to spend much of his time racing on the motocross and jet skiing circuits in Florida. He also found love. In the summer of 1995, Ice met Laura Giarita. They would marry 2 years later. In late 1995, he set up a recording studio in Miami and joined a grunge band called Picking Scabs. The following year, he signed with Universal Republic Records and started performing live again. Ice's third studio album, Hard to Swallow, dropped in 1998 and featured a darker sound and lyrics than his previous work, as well as various mixtures of different styles of hip-hop and hard rock. Even though the project didn't put up any numbers, he attracted a whole new audience when he started touring again, some who were even unfamiliar with his more mainstream sound. Over the years, while Ice has been quoted as saying that being a family man is his true purpose, he and his wife have had a slew of domestic disturbances. In January 2001, he was arrested by police in Davie, Florida, for assaulting her. According to the criminal complaint, Ice and his wife argued as they drove on Interstate 595, and he placed his hand over her mouth, quote, to shut her up. He did admit to pulling her hair to prevent her from jumping out of the truck's window. Similar incidences followed in 2004 and 2008. Things between Ice and his wife unfortunately continued to go downhill, and in 2016 she filed for divorce, saying that their nearly 20-year marriage was irreversibly broken. Ice, still an entertainer at heart, felt that diving into the world of reality TV would be a good experience for him. He began quite a long run, appearing on shows like The Surreal Life and Dancing with the Stars. In 2010, Ice premiered his own reality TV series called The Vanilla Ice Project, where he demonstrated his expertise in real estate and home renovation. The show would go on to be a roaring success, producing 9 seasons in total. Over the years, Ice has continued to release new music periodically, including the studio albums Bipolar in 2001, Platinum Underground in 2005, and WTF, Wisdom, Tenacity, and Focus in 2011. Now, he does it for the love of music and isn't at all interested in trying to achieve the level of stardom he once experienced in the 90s. For the last several years, Ice has been one of the main headliners for the worldwide I Love the 90s tour, which features other acts of the decade, including Color Me Bad, All for One, CNC Music Factory, and, until his untimely passing last year, Coolio. When asked about why he thinks everything 90s has become so popular again, he told the New York Times in 2022, "The 90s are infectious. The decade was so colorful with neon colors. Nothing was that serious. It was, let's enjoy life, let's make friends. We had Beavis and Butthead, we had block parties, we had fanny packs. If you walk through the mall today, everyone is wearing items from the 90s. Sneakers are going crazy. The checkerboard Vans, that is from the 90s. It's all back."